spot? No. Okay. Which number is it? 27. Okay. Now look, all of this may seem a little bit disorienting right now, but trust me, by the time we're at the end of this section, you're going to just look at these things and do it in your head, right? And 27. Q or not Z. One is not B or A and C and D. Two is not B, then Q, and three is A and C, then not Z and C. Okay, so I'm just going to use this inefficient algorithm. First thing I look for is Q or not Z together. Don't see it. Then I'm going to, yes?
So we're not actually looking for Q alone and not Z alone as well, together.
Say that again.
So when I was solving, I thought I was supposed to look for Q first, then I'll look for Z later.
Okay, you could do that if this was an and, but it's an or, right? If it was an and, you could go find one, go find the other, and then put them together by conjunction. Okay, so that was a good idea. But it's an or, so you can't put them together. However, the trick is if you found one of them, you could just add on the other one.
I found Q, it's in the second line.
Right, but you have to get a not B. How do you get a not B? You could get a not B from this if you had a not A and C. You could get a not A and C if you had a Z, which you actually do. So you can actually do it that way. Okay, I'm going to solve this problem twice. Let me show you the way it was intended for you to solve it, okay? Because my intent was to introduce you to the idea of complex dilemma, okay? And so here's what I noticed. I have to prove a disjunction. I didn't see the disjunction anywhere. I didn't see its opposite in the antecedent. So I'm looking for this arrangement. Blank then Q, blank then not Z, okay? And I have that, blank then Q, and I have a blank then not Z. Why? Because let's suppose this is box and this is circle. If I had this, box or circle, then I could do a constructive dilemma and get Q or not Z. That's my strategy, okay? All right, so I have one of the parts right here, blank then Q, and now I need a blank then not Z. There it is, it's part of this larger statement, which is a conjunction, and that's fortunate because I can simplify conjunctions, which essentially means I just get rid of that part. This is like burger and fries, and I'm just going to say burger. So I get A and C, then not Z from 3, and that's by simplification. Okay, so now I have 2 of the parts that I need. But now I need the disjunction of not B or A and C, which is right there, okay? But it's stuck in a conjunction, but that's easy enough. I'm just gonna simplify and get rid of the D. So I get not B or A and C from 1 by simplification, okay? And so now, think about lines 2 and 4 and 5, and think about this B or not C. So not B would get me a Q, but A and C would get me not Z, so I'm either getting a Q or a not Z, and I use lines 2, 4, and 5. So this is line 6. 2, 4, and 5, and a constructive dilemma. Okay. So is there another way to do this problem? Well, let me make sure. I would need the Q, which means I need the not B. Okay. There is another way to solve this problem, but technically it involves some rules that we haven't identified yet, because those rules are categorically of a different kind, so I don't want to mention that right now. Does everybody understand that? We want to get these down before I complicate matters and introduce you to a whole nother realm of stuff. 29. So this 29 is going to be the same kind of problem. We have to get to X or Y. We have A, then X, and C, and we have B, then Y, and J, if and only if K. I didn't put much effort into this. This one is A or B, and not J. Okay. So first thing I'd look for is X or Y. I don't see it. I would look for not X or Y in the antecedent of a conditional. I don't see it. Now, since this is a disjunction, the one thing I'm going to think about is, well, constructive dilemma. Do I see a blank then X and a blank then Y? Since this is box and this is circle, and I could also find box or circle, I'm good to go. Let me see. Blank then X. Yes. Blank then Y. Yes. What's in the blanks? An A and a B. So and I would need A or B. There it is. Those are all three of the parts. But they're stuck in these big complex statements. But the nice thing is that's an and, so I can simplify it. That's an and, so I can simplify it. That's an and, so I can simplify it. So I'm just going to simplify all three of those things. And let me start with this one first. A or B from 3 simplification. And now let me simplify number 1. A then X from 1 simplification. And now I'm going to simplify number 2. I got B then Y from 2 by simplification. So now look at 4, 5, and 6. A or B. If A, I get an X. If B, I get a Y. So I'm either getting an X or a Y. This is 7. And this is 4, 5, and 6 by CD. Everybody see that? Close this for a second. Okay. So which one did I just do? This one, what number was that? 20. That was 29. Okay. Okay, let me do 31. And there is a typo in 31, which I will correct as I put it up on the board. One of the parentheses should have been a bracket. Okay, 31. We have to prove not R. And we have an A. And we have a or B or not J, and it has a parentheses, it should be a bracket, then Z. And we have a P and a Q, and we have a P and a Z. then not R. Okay. So we need a not R. And there's only one right here. And we need a P and a Z. Okay? So I look around and I don't see P and Z as a unit. I don't see its opposite, not P and Z, in the antecedent of a conditional. Okay? So one of the things I'm thinking about then is this. Since this is an and, if I get a P and I have a Z, I can put them together as P and Z. So I'm just going to now divide the task into two tasks. Let me get a P. Well, there's a P in line 3 that's easy to get to. P and Q, this is an and, so I can simplify. And I can say P from 3 simplification. Okay, so that was easy. Now, how about a Z? Well, there's a Z, but it's part of the if-then, so I need all of this. I need either A or B or not J. And I don't have much to work with. All I have is an A, but that's more than enough. Because I have the rule addition that lets me add anything I want with an or. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to say A or B. So I'm like creating that part from 1 by addition. Well, now you can think of this as something, and I can add something to it. So A or B or not J from 6 by addition. Okay? And what I did is from just this, I built that by 2 additions. So now look, I have the antecedent for 2. So I can say Z from 2 and 7 modus ponens. Okay, now remember, I was after those 2 parts, P and Z. That's a shabby looking P. Okay, and I have them separately, and now let me put them together. P and Z